Welcome to the very first edition of Classic Car Stories Midweek Motors. Now, the Saturday episodes are all about the full-length documentaries, while the Wednesdays are all about talking to owners, seeing some great cars and asking some fascinating questions. So Ford created the Granada, but they also created the Consul. So what's the difference? Today, we're going to find out. At first glance, you'll be forgiven for thinking they're exactly the same car. The shape is almost identical and the styling is very similar. And today, almost everyone simply calls them Granadas. But when Ford launched them in 1972, they weren't the same at all. One was intended to be the affordable executive car, the other was designed to be Ford's flagship. And before the Granada even reached Britain's showrooms, Ford found themselves in an unexpected dispute over the name itself. We'll come back to that shortly. So here I am sitting with Malcolm in the back of his Consul, his Ford Consul.
So basically it's a 1975 2-litre Ford Consul, Pinto engine, automatic, no power steering, cloth interior. That was how it was ordered by the gentleman who was disabled back in 1976. That was the only extras he wanted on the car. It's now on 36,500 miles. It's had two previous owners, himself and his son, who put it in his name to sell it after the old chap unfortunately passed away. I saw it for sale. It wasn't really well advertised. I said to my son Dave, I said, we want to go and have a look at this. He said, "Are you for real?" He said, 2-litre Pinto automatic. You told me they were gutless years ago. I said, but then I was younger.
Yeah.
So then, I wanted to be quicker. I said, now I'm older. I said, I just want to cruise.
Yeah.
So he said, so we left Crowborough, where we live, at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, drove down there and then done the deal and brought it back. That was it. So we're lucky, got our own workshop. So I've got somewhere to keep it. It's got to be locked away, obviously. And I do bits and pieces on it as and when I've got the time. After you've been working on them 10 hours a day, you don't always necessarily want to work on them in the evenings.
That's right.
But we do that, try and dedicate a few hours on a Saturday. And I love it. 10 years ago, it was stripped to a shell and painted by a gentleman down in Newquay. And then I went down last March, so some 15 months ago, and purchased it. Done a lot of work to it since. Cleaned it up because it had never been properly polished. Done all the cylinder head, etc., and basically give it a good overhaul. And it's as it is, as you see it now.
Yeah, and it is absolutely fabulous. And it doesn't even have a radio, does it?
No radio. It was, they were all optional extras.
Yeah.
Back in '76, where you could actually walk into a dealer and specifically order several items off of the sheet.
Yeah, and this was the original colour, the white, wasn't it?
It's the ermine white, which is the original colour.
Yeah.
The only difference I've made to the car is I put on the sports steels instead of the original steels with the hubcap. Again, the wheels were an optional extra with Ford.
Now, earlier I told you about a dispute with the name Ford Granada. Here's why. The name Granada was already familiar in Britain because of ITV Granada Television. That resulted in legal discussions over Ford's use of the name. For a period, Ford sold these cars here as Consul Granada, before eventually dropping the Consul name altogether. From then on, every model was simply known as the Granada, which explains why so many people today have forgotten there was ever a Consul. Yeah, now what is it about a Granada that you like? Tell us your story about Granadas.
Well, basically, I've always liked them. Ever since I was 15, I used to walk past a Ford dealer home from school every day, and there was always Granadas, Granada coupes in the showroom. I used to go in there, talk to the salesman, steal the brochures.
I did that too, yeah. I also get brochures, yeah.
Yeah, get the brochures. The coupe that was in the showroom disappeared. A local chap, John, bought it, and he then decided about 4 or 5 years later, so I was best part of 20, 21, he decided to sell it. So he knocked on my door and offered it to me for sale because he knew I'd always liked it. Then I had the coupe, had that for several years, sold that, and I've always had Granadas on and off over the years. My son, who's now 32, he has always loved Granadas. He's now got Granadas. So, yes, it's running in the family, really.
It's fair to say Malcolm likes Granadas.
Yes, yeah, I've got another one back at the workshop that's a Shell at the moment. That's a Mark II,
Right.
2.8 GLS. So that one's being done now. That'll be a probably 2 to 3 year project, I would think, that one.
But you must be very pleased with this particular one because it's in great condition, isn't it?
I love
It
this
really
car,
is, yeah.
absolutely love it. And on top of that, I get to enjoy shows and that with my son. So that's a big, important part of my life.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
You know?
So don't forget to like, to share, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Classic Car Stories, because every classic, as you found out here, has a story to tell.